everybody, it's Fiona from Stitchy AF and I am filming my first stitch with me today. I'm going to be working on Gamer by Gecko Rouge. This is my unicorn pattern. I bought it for myself for my 30th birthday, and to be honest, I have not as far into it as I would like. I try to work on it at least one day every weekend, but you know, life sometimes gets in the way of that. So I'll zoom into where I'm working. This is my first full coverage piece that I started. I've gone a bit, you know, all over the place with my techniques, trying to get what works best for me, and I haven't quite got there yet. Which I mean, I'm 10% into the pattern, so 20,000 stitches, but it's a bit all over the shop at the back, and I don't really like it. So I'm going to try to merge my way into doing the Royal Rose type of stitching. What am I trying to think that is now? Method, that's the word I was looking for. But like, excuse all of the mess of my waist threads. So I will be working in just this little half box here, and then these two boxes here to try and get them to the like completed towers, and then I'll go back up and try and merge my way into a Royal Rose and see if that makes it look any neater at the back. Let me, sorry, just set up my pattern keeper over here. So I'll insert a picture of the progress I have on this pattern, just so you can see where I'm up to with my 10%. Oh, sorry, I thought I got this camera right, but my hand is going to be in the way, I think. Yeah, it definitely is. That's annoying. I apologize. This is my first try at it, and I'll try and be better. I'll try and be better next time, but like, guys, this is the 5th attempt of starting this video, so kind of a bit over it. No, that's gonna drive me nuts, I think. Drive me nuts, drive you guys nuts. Oh, and it's bumping the camera a lot. I'll movie magic this so I don't have to do that intro all over again, and try and get us to a better position so that my hand isn't always coming straight in front of the camera. I'll be back. Okay, welcome back. I can't get it any better than this, so next time I will try and work it out to be a little bit better. I don't know what's happening. I mean, I know what's happening. My hand is getting in the way, but I just can't deal with it. We got a new puppy the other day, and I'm sitting in my office doing this at my desk, and he can obviously hear my voice. So he's just wandering around looking really lost out my window that's right beside me, like, where's Mum? I can hear her, but I cannot see her. Poor little thing. He's 8 months old. We got him from a rescue. His name was Orca, but we have changed his name to be Bear because our other dog is a greyhound, and his name is Teddy. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, fiddling with. His name is Teddy, so we've changed the puppy's name to Bear so that we have Teddy Bear, which the kids think is super cute. They've been so good with him. They've been so good with him. It's been so cute. Every morning they get up and they have to get dressed and then have breakfast. But they've been getting up, getting dressed, going straight outside to be with the puppy and play with him. And then they come in and then they're like, oh, I'm hungry. We're like, okay, well, you were meant to do breakfast first, but they all adore him, like absolutely adore him. And he has been loving having them there. What is this little... something stuck to my fabric. He's been loving having them, but now they are all at other parents' houses. So I have Ben and Josh, who you've seen on here. They're mine. So they're at their dad's this weekend. They went yesterday afternoon. And then V and Othello are my stepkids, and they're with their mum. But they come back tonight when my partner finishes work. He'll pick them up on his way home, and they'll be back with us. So at least Bear will have them tomorrow in the morning, but I think he's a little bit lost without his human brothers and sister here to play with him. And Teddy is an old dog, so he does his zoomies around the yard with him, and he'll run and he'll play and all of that, and then he he's like, all right, well, now I need to sleep, I'm an old man. So he's not quite as full on for Bear. So I'm going to get this stitch with me done, and then I'm going to take Bear for a bit of a walk and burn off some of his energy. Ooh, pulled my burn off some of his energy to distract him that his kids haven't been there to play with him. I go out and I throw around his toys, and which, I mean, he's a cross, so the rescue said he was a Great Dane cross, but I can't see any Great Dane in him. But I mean, he's a big puppy. I think he's got a bit of Ridgeback in him. But he's like, because he's a puppy, he still plays with his toys and he'll run around with the kids. They have a little soccer ball that he's destroyed now, but it was his, they gave it to him, it was his soccer ball, so they play soccer with him, and it's really cute because Teddy was obviously, that stitch has gone a little funny. Teddy was rescued from like an actual greyhound training facility. It was never a racing greyhound, but were training him to race. So he's never like been a puppy, and I mean, I don't think greyhounds naturally are like the puppy that'll play fetch and that type of a thing. But the kids have not really had a dog that will play fetch, run around with them. Like Teddy will run with them and they race him, but they, you know, he doesn't do too much more than that. So it's good for them to have a puppy that will play, and he's so adorable. We spoiled him a little bit, bought him a whole bunch of new toys, and we got him this cute little bone that has a squeaker in it, and it's like a fabric bone. It's like a cushion, not like a hard bone. And he gets out there and then he'll like have it in his mouth and he throws it up into the air, and then he will catch it and he runs around and he does that, and it's adorable. He's just like playing with himself, and every time I do it, I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cute. And then by the time I'm like, oh, I should record it because it's adorable, he's stopped doing it because I've spent too long just staring at him doing it, like, oh my God, you are the cutest little thing ever. But it's been really good for the kids to have a dog, and Teddy now will play with them. Like if they're out there trying to play fetch with Bear, Teddy is getting involved, so it's good for Teddy too. Like he's starting to play, and I've said to the kids, like, make sure that we're loving on Teddy as much as we're loving on Bear, so that Teddy doesn't feel left out, because obviously we want Teddy to know we still love him just as much. Oh, there they are. Oh, there's a lady biking. So that was Bear, that's the puppy doing his bark. And he's like real loud, but all he like barks from the other side of the yard, and then he runs over like, hey, pat me, pay attention to me. So he's not like aggressively barking at them. Oh God, they're so cute. I don't know. Oh, that's what I was saying. Teddy is a large greyhound. Like he's really tall for a greyhound, and he just wants to be a lap dog. Like he's just like, Mum, can't I come and sit on you? And I'm like, no, you will squish me. And he comes up to you to cuddle you, and he just like leans his full body into your legs, just like full weight. And I'm like, oh gosh. And I am, oops, sorry, knocked the camera. Wear a lot of black, so I just end up with dog hair all over me, because he's tan, so he's got like the blonde hairs all over me. I'm like, you're worse than the cats, mate. we have 3 cats. 2 are inside cats, and we've created, oh, I say we, but I just said, oh, this is what I want. And then my partner gets out there and works his magic, and he makes it. But he's made this really good cat run for the cats out the back, because when we bought this house, they obviously had, my stitch is just sitting funny. They obviously had dogs here, and so they had like a dog kennel out the back, like a big fenced in area, and they I'll do this one, but then it's like a big kind of like, well, it's not huge, but it was like a shed type thing that they had set out into like kennels. And so my partner pulled it down completely. Oops, sorry, punched the camera. He pulled it down completely and then built it all back up again to make it cat proof. He added windows in there for them with ledges so that they could sit in the window and look out and get the cool breeze. We've got, he does like jobs for friends and stuff, and one of his friends was needing to clean up because the landlord was selling their house, and oh sorry, I keep doing that. Sorry, this camera is going to drive me nuts. I'll have to definitely look for a better setup. Yeah, the landlord was selling the house, and I'm gonna go all the way up here, and park it there so that it can be used, because that's all for this. Sorry, I'm not like 100% on the Royal Rose method, because like that was one stitch. I'm not gonna just like cut it off because it's not in the next 2 things. Not that I really checked down. Yeah, no, it's not in the next 2 blocks of 10. So I'll go up and I'll use it up there. Yeah, so his friend, his boss, said to him like, oh, come around and clear out all this old furniture for me, and then you can do whatever you want with it. Sell it, whatever, keep it, blah, blah, blah. And it was this old couch, and I was like, well, we don't need a couch or a lounge, or and most of it was pretty ruined. So he's put a bloody like the chase part of the lounge out into the cat cage so that the cats could relax. I was like, they're bloody spoiled little cats, but they do love it, because I just don't like them wandering around. And they're my cat, well, they're Ben and Josh's cats. You would have seen them in some of our videos, actually, because the boys do like to try and show them off. Oh, this is a tiny piece. But they get up there. They've got like a whole walkway to the cat cage that he's spoilt them. He's done it really nice. He's stained the wood so that it wouldn't give them splinters, and you know, would look pretty and be protected, and it's good. They do like going out there. But he also came into this relationship with a cat, and Bizzle is an outdoor cat. He likes to be outdoors. Well, not quite so much recently, because he's not a fan of the puppy, so I finally got him back into the house today, this morning, so that he can have a bit of food and like a rest, because he has been camped out on our roof because he wants to be outside, and then he gets outside and then he realizes Bear's outside, and then he's like, oh, well, up on the roof I'll go. And then no matter how much we're climbing ladders, we're getting up on things to be like, quick, jump into our arms, we'll catch you. He's just been like, no, I don't want to go down there. And we're like, oh, come on, we promise we'll put you straight inside. No, he's not having a bar of it. But this morning I went out there and I fed the dogs, and he's looked at me. He's up on the roof and he's meowing at me, and I was like, well, come on, let's get down from there. And I finally got him down, and now he's curled up in my bedroom on my stitching chair, waiting for some snuggles. So I'll have to make sure I go in there and give him some snuggles before I move on with my day, because he needs them, my poor little darling. The boys have been really worried about him, and no matter what we did yesterday, we could not get him off the roof, and my partner was at work. Otherwise I would have been like, get up there on that roof and get him. But the boys are scared of heights. Ben got up to the highest bit of the ladder, and then Joshy was like, no, get down, and I'm scared for him. And so I said, well, Ben, just hop down, which I wouldn't let the boys on the actual roof anyway. He was just on a ladder, but I mean, I'm not getting on the roof. So anyway, I finally got him. He just needs to get used. He's really, like, Bizzle's really good with Teddy. Gets on great with him. So I'm not sure, like, he just needs to get used to Bear. And Bear's he's not chasing him, like, he's not going to attack him or anything. He's just wants to play and wants to meet him, and Bizzle's just not into that at the moment. So now that he's inside, we'll kind of introduce them through the glass like we have with the other cats, and get Bizzle used to Bear, and realizing that Bear's he's not gonna get him. Wow, that is a lot of just random animal chat. Sorry, guys. So I kind of wanted to talk about, I did kind of plan what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to film these stitch with me's because I do really enjoy watching them. It is one of my favourite types of floss tube to watch. And I do like the ones where they are talking in it, which is why I was like, I'll film this one with talking. And I mean, if you guys like it, then great. If you want me to just shut up, then let me know. But I just thought I do have this full coverage, which I would love to document. So initially when I was thinking about starting up a floss tube, this is exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to do stitch with me's. That was kind of going to be my main thing. And this is the first time I've kind of was like, all right, I'll just bite the bullet and do it. Sorry, punch you again. So that's kind of, this has kind of always been what I wanted to do, was stitch with me's. And it, like I said, it is one of my favorite things to watch on FlossTube. Got to get rid of all these disgusting tails. 1, 2, 3. Sorry guys. But yeah, so I have Gamer, which is going to take me forever because I don't dedicate probably enough time to it as I should, but I try to make sure that I'm doing at least one day. Let me get rid of all these. At least one day a week, and we will, all of those would have been covered now by the other thing, and we'll go from there. We'll see how we go. But then I do have watercolor rainbow succulent, which was one of my whip go calls for January. So I've restarted it yesterday using this Royal Rose method, which, I mean, I'm hearing a lot about on FlossTube, so I assume everyone's probably heard of it by now. I mean, I've only just recently started hearing about it, so I'm a bit late to the game. But 1, 2, 3, yeah. But it is a method developed by Royal Stitcher. So I did watch some of her videos to kind of be like, oh, what's this all about? After I've heard it from literally everyone. And so I've started Rainbow Succulent again yesterday. It is a full coverage, but it is rather blocky. So I was going to film a stitch with me and do it like right from the start. But then I was like, I don't know if you guys would actually want to watch that, because I mean, there are color changes, but it is rather blocky. And so I was like, it might be a bit too boring to do a stitch with me for that one. I mean, if you guys wanted to see it, I'd be more than happy to do it. Just let me know. But I thought this one might be a little bit more interesting because of all the color changes that need to happen. And you can kind of see this one. I'm kind of right at the good bit with the banner where you can see this one coming together, like things are starting to form on it, whereas the Rainbow Succulents, it's kind of just leaves to the succulents, so it like I can tell what they are, but I don't know at the time of stitching, if I was this zoomed in on it, I don't know if you could really tell what it would be. But then I do have a couple more full coverage. I actually have my first couple of Heaven and Earth designs that I will probably be starting this year. They're just minis. So I have the mini boho seaside. I think that's what the design's called. I'll pop a picture in so that you guys can see what it is. I got it last year when I was doing the No New Starts, and the day before, yeah, it must have been Thursday. So today is Saturday, the 14th of January. So on Thursday, I put my order in with JK's Stitching Supplies, which is one of our online needlework stores here in Australia. Janet is amazing, and she works so hard, and I always see on like their Facebook page, like they're apologizing if she takes a break, or they're, you know, like, oh, we're a bit delayed. And I was like, she responds really quickly. She always gives you this cute little free needle mind. Like, Janet's doing God's work here in Australia, and she deserves a break. I'm like, every time they apologize, I'm like, you do not need to apologize for taking a break or a little holiday or a weekend off. Like, do it. You deserve it. Because it's always amazing. She apologizes, but it still gets here faster than like what I would expect anyway. Like, I'm like, no, what? Like, it's fine. Anyway, the whole point of that random tangent was that I ordered the fabric and all of the colors. I have oh gosh, I've made my own hole there. Get out. I have all of the DMC colors. I have the full, now I've messed up my thread. I have the full set. So I only really like replace colors as they dwindle. But I just thought for my Heaven and Earth full coverage ones, I might as well just buy all of the threads and just dedicate them to that project, rather than like pulling them and using them on a couple of projects at the same time and all that type of stuff. So that is on its way. Janet sent an email and said it'll be posted in the post on Monday, so that's fine. I'm not anywhere near ready to start it, but I just wanted to be prepared. And then I did cave, and yesterday I bought the mini Once Upon a Time bookshelf by Amy Stewart. The boho one is by Amy Stewart as well, I'm fairly confident, but I mean, you would have seen in that picture anyway that I inserted. Yeah, I've seen someone was doing a stitch with me and was doing that one, and I mean, who hasn't seen it at some stage on FlossTube? So I bought the mini version of that, and I will do that one as well. So I'll have a few different types of projects that I will do stitch with me's for. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with any of this. If you want to see me start one of my other full coverages, then let me know and I'll start them. I mean, I obviously don't mind having, sorry, itchy arm, having a bunch of whips all in one at one time, because I have like I think 24 at the moment. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's a little bit of black hair stuck in this hole. Cat fur everywhere. What's that? I've seen a meme before or something in one of my stitchy Facebook groups that was like, you know, my projects are full of made with love and cat hair. I'm like, accurate. There is, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear it. There is a car that drives up and down. Like, I live out of town, but there is this car that drives up and down this street. It's like a V8 or whatever, one of those loud cars that my partner can't get enough of, that I'm like, it's ridiculous. We're grown adults, you don't need a car that sounds cool. But it drives up and down my street, and the dog is barking at it because it's pulled up in front of my house. I'm on a corner, and he's like come around the corner, and now it's just sitting there across the road at the park, or like it's idling in the middle of the street, but there's another car park pulled up there that he must be talking to. And Bear's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. And I agree. So we've got like, yeah, we're on a corner block, and on one side is a park, which is, there he goes, which is amazing for the kids. Because they just go over there, and when my partner is out working on something in the yard, so at the moment he's rebuilding our pool deck, and it looks amazing. So when he's out there just working in the yard doing stuff, he can see the kids at the park, so they can go over there and play and stay out of his hair while he's working, but he can keep an eye on them, and he's, you know, watches them. Which, I mean, it's school holidays here at the moment, so it works out well for him because they take the dogs over, because otherwise the dogs sit at the fence and just look really sad at them. So they take the dogs over to the park and they hang out there and play, and then keep the dogs entertained. And leave my partner alone to do his work. It's a bit confusing because my partner's name is Josh, so when I talk to people, I have to be really mindful about what I'm how I'm talking about them. But we call him Big Josh, so we have Big Josh and Little Josh. But Little Josh is he's just growing like a weed. Like, he will not stop. And I was like, oh my God, like, he eats so much and he is just growing. He's already, like, he's honestly not far off being taller than me, which he pays me out for because I'm pretty short. But I'm like, oh my God, like, he's only 9 and he's going to be so tall. And so we were saying last night, not last night, sorry, the Thursday night when Big Josh got home from work, we were saying that we're going to have to change their name change their names soon. They'll have to swap. And Joshy will have to become Big Josh, and Big Josh will have to become become Little Josh. And then we were like, oh, we could just call him Old Josh. Old Josh and Young Josh. So funny. But yeah, so it can get a bit confusing for group of bikes. It can get a bit confusing for everyone else, because I'll just be like, oh yeah, Josh is building a deck, and they're like, why is your 9-year-old building a deck? And I'm like, oh sorry, big Josh is doing this. It's funny. I don't know, you'll have to let me know, guys, if my hands are just too in the way, if it's too annoying. Obviously I keep punching the camera, so I do need to change it for that reason, but if my hands aren't too annoying in this, with the camera sitting like in this location, just obviously less bumped, then I'll try and figure out how to keep it there where but way far enough that I won't bump it, as long as my hands aren't too in the way. I mean, we're making pretty good progress for only being, we're 38 minutes into it. We've done a fair bit. It's hard with a project that's so confetti heavy, because sometimes you can sit there and stitch for an hour and have done like 20 stitches, because all you're doing is changing colours, just changing colours. I've obviously got this bit like at the top of her banner. I've like started working down here in the banner, because I was like, this might be a bit more interesting to you guys, because at the top is all just like the background, which is mostly just one shade of blue, but there are little stars in it, which are a couple of different colours, but I thought, oh, I'll save that block. I'll go up and I'll do the top once I've finished filming this stitch with me. And I've done all my jobs for the day. I will hold it down. Yeah, once I've finished doing all my jobs for the day and filming this, and I'm back in my stitchy chair, I'll go ahead and I'll do along the top and get that boring work done, so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me just do one colour. Oh, that'll be right. Got one little square to do with this one. See, this is where Royal Rose kind of loses me. because I wouldn't like just do this one square and then like cut it off. I'm gonna just put it over into the next tower, as she calls it, because like I need to use it there. So I don't know why I'm so awkward with that loop start. Like most of the time I can just thread it in with the one hand, but then that time I just had to use two hands to get my loop in there. Oh, dropped my needle. I just want to see, yeah, ooh, look at all those green flags. I'll park it way up the top there, because oh, guys, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I was just tapping away, not even realizing I wasn't in the right place to tap away like that. Did I? Okie dokie, 70. So I have those two heaven and earth designs, and they're like the first two, like sorry, I put a needle in my mouth and then decided to keep talking at you. Yeah, I haven't started them yet, but they'll be my first heaven and earth patterns that I will do, because a lot of the designs, like I've gone through the store before, and I mean there is obviously some super cute designs, but a lot of them don't appeal to me. But pulled too hard. So they're kind of the first ones that I've gravitated towards, and like I said, I only bought that a Stitch in Time one on Thursday. Like I've been seeing it for years, feels like forever, and it's taken me that long to actually like make the leap and say, yeah, I do want to stitch that one. But Gecko Rouge, I have to literally like stop myself from actively looking at their stuff, because I could spend so much money there. Like this pattern, it comes in the kit, and obviously it was not cheap, and I think they're in Canada. Could be wrong. But I had to like 1, 2, 3, yeah. Good guess. I had to say to myself, I'm buying this for my 30th birthday because 30 is a big deal. To even like convince myself that I was allowed to buy it because it was really expensive, and it took a long time to ship over because it was COVID times. when I bought it. So obviously, you know, all international post was taking forever and all of that. And I was actually, oh, you just dropped a needle. That's, oh no, look, there it is, stuck in my floss. And I was set to move. So like I ordered it a couple of months before my birthday and I was set to move like on my birthday time, and it still wasn't coming, and I was like, oh my god, if this thing doesn't arrive before I leave, I'm gonna be so upset. Like, but luckily it came like I think like a week or two before we actually had to move, so I was like, oh thank god. But yeah, it was like a couple of $100 for me to get the whole kit and get it delivered here. So I've got to like, I've got to stop myself looking at them because I could just spend a fortune, I reckon, buying their stuff. So I've kind of made myself a deal that I have to get through this one before I look at getting other ones. Because especially these what is it, Medusa Dollmaker is the artist for these ones. Yeah, and their artwork, the patterns are beautiful. Like, absolutely stunning. So I don't know, maybe I'll celebrate by making it to like 50% or something. So, you know, in about 20 years. Let's hope they're still going strong and selling patterns by the time I get around to doing it. No, hopefully 20 years is a very, very, very drastic exaggeration. It just feels like that sometimes when you like put in all the effort and you're like, oh, I'm only at 20,000 out of 197,000. I'll get there. Do I want to do that one? Or do I want to do some of these smaller ones? I think I'll do these smaller ones. I might start from here. Okay. What number is that? 92. This pattern has 99 colours. Which seems ridiculous, but you see it all come together and you're like, I don't know, like pattern designer, people who can design pattern, like I make basic patterns, but like people who can get all of this, they, I don't know, there's something else. They can just get that contrast of all these colours. This loop start method changed my life when I first heard about it. Just so easy to do, like. I think that's another thing that puts me off about working on this pattern the way I was working on it, is how messy, like, I think I just get a bit overwhelmed by that particular, like having all of the waist threads. I'm not huge on pin stitch. I mean, I could give it a go if I really wanted to, but I've just never quite been sold on the idea. And then I do use the, how did I have that perfect for a second? The ball point needles. And they're great, like they work great. Oh my god, I say so much. Mostly because I'm trying to think about what I'm going to chat about and then be like, oh, Fiona, you need to concentrate on where you're about to put this thread. Yeah, so I don't think these are sharp enough to do the pin stitch. Not that I've tried, but I heard someone mentioning that on one of their Stitch Me's that I was watching, and now for the life of me cannot think of her name. But in one of her recent ones, or well, one that I watched yesterday, I don't know how recent it is, but she had an adorable cat who was sleeping beside her. So she had like a camera facing her, she had a camera on the cat who was napping beside her, and then a camera on her stitching. And honestly, it was so relaxing to see the little kitty having a nap there. It was absolutely adorable. So I've been watching a lot of, actually that's what prompted me to be like, I need to get my act together and do a stitch with me like I've always wanted, because just the other day I just was like, I just want to watch someone stitch. Because I do this because it's relaxing and calming to me. And something was happening, I couldn't stitch and I just needed to feel calm. So I was like, I'll watch a stitch with me. And then that's pretty much been my solid viewing since that day. And I just stitch along with them and listen to them chat. I'm not a huge fan of the lives, because then they're reading comments and it's like responding, but it can kind of like be stop-start. You know, I'll still watch them, but it's just not kind of as relaxing to me as watching just a stitch with me where they're just sitting there kind of just monologuing. But the video I found on that day where I was like, I just need to, if I can't stitch, I need to watch someone stitch. It was Gemma Stitch's video, and she is doing a pattern at the moment. And like, I've gone back and I've watched some of her old ones even, because obviously I'd watched that most recent one and she's done a couple since then. So I've watched them, like, you know, the day she's put them out. Oh, sorry, drink break. Yeah, I've watched them like as she's uploaded them, but I've gone back to watch old ones of hers. She's doing this pattern at the moment that is it's a Zelda pattern, I think. Like, it's all the different versions of Link. Look, I know nothing about Zelda, the game. I don't even know if that is the correct full title of the game. I know nothing about Link. I know nothing about any of that. But I'm obsessed with watching her progress on that project now. And I mean, I'll listen to her tell me about the game or whatever. Give me the little tidbits about it, because she was stitching the fairy's wing at the moment. And that's kind of where I joined, when she started on one side of this fairy and now she's on the other side of it. I have no idea, but she like tells little like anecdotes about the game and how the fairy acts in the game and all of that, and I'm like, tell me all about it. I'm all in on knowing this fairy's attitude. Like, might convert me, I might pick the game up, I don't know. I am obviously doing the gamer because I am a bit of a gamer. My thing at the moment is, I've replayed it a couple of times because, I just pulled the complete wrong colour. Not to worry. One number off, that's great. Let me hook that back up there onto my floss drop and go to the correct colour that I need. Yeah, at the moment I am replaying The Last of Us for the third time. And I'm so excited because the show is going to be out within the next couple of weeks on Foxtel. And I've watched the trailer twice now because I watched it myself, got really excited, and then I showed Big Josh. And like, it is unbelievable how much it just looks like the game. Like, they've done an amazing job. So I'm so excited to watch it. So I've started replaying it again for that. But I am more into those shooty ones and zombies, I guess. And then obviously, as my kids like to think, I'm super old. So I've got like, you know, Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and all those games from back in the day. Lara Croft, I've got pretty much all of those games. I'm very efficient with a bow and arrow in a virtual sense. I don't think that I could shoot one in a straight line in person. But hey, I'm good at it somewhere, and that's all that matters. But yeah, so back to the point of all of that random is that I'm really invested in Gemma Stitches and her stitch with me's so that I can see her progress on this pattern that literally I have no idea about, and I am 100% fine with that. I will link her YouTube below because she's also very entertaining to listen to. I really enjoy her videos. So what are we at? We're at about an hour. I don't know how long this should really go for. Sorry guys, I was going to try and get, you know, these 2 boxes done for you while we were here chatting, but I don't know if I should just end it, not keep yous around for too long. I mean, if you wanted to leave a comment and let me know like the ideal length of one of these videos that you would like to, you know, that you'd prefer it to stick to under an hour, all of that type of stuff, just let me know. I personally don't mind. Sorry, I was getting a bit of a dry mouth there. I personally don't mind sitting there and watching ones that are a little bit longer, so that it can kind of end at a satisfying point, which I think, you know, if I go to finish these boxes, it kind of gives everyone a satisfying point to end at before I go and work on this alone today. So I think I will do that more for me than, you know, like it'll be a satisfying point for me, but I'm more than happy for you guys to leave a comment and let me know, you know, if you aren't interested in anything over an hour or whatever, and I will adjust accordingly. And I mean, let me know if you like these. If you don't like them, then I can stop doing it. I just thought it would be a great way to record my progress, I guess, and have something, you know, like I do Instagram and put up status updates and stuff, but I thought a video might be a nice way to kind of document the progress on these. It would be a nice little thing for me, I guess. So I guess in that sense, if you don't want them, I might still do them just for document's sake for me, and you guys don't have to watch. I would prefer if you enjoyed it. I thought that I would really struggle to to talk with you guys for this long and not have like awkward long pauses in it, but it seems like I can just waffle about anything for as long as possible. I don't think I'm having much of a problem with it, to be honest, but I mean, you guys might not be interested in whatever I'm rambling about. Oh, done it again. I'm also just like screen recording my pattern keeper, so hopefully this comes over really well for you guys, because again, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Kind of just flying by the seat of my pants on how I'm getting this one together for you lot. So hopefully it all works out how I would like it to work out. I have to go to the pet shop once I'm done here. To buy some stuff for the axolotls. The boys, Ben and Josh, got axolotls for Christmas 2021. So all they wanted. Josh researched online to tell me, Mum, I can do this. I've got this. I know all these facts about axolotls. We'll look after them. Blah blah blah. And I said, you better look after them. Like, yous want them. You have to prove that yous can look after them. Well, the other two kids feed them more than Ben and Josh would feed them. Big Josh and I are the ones that clean the tank. I'm like, alright, well, great. So these poor axolotls, they're still going strong, but I feel real bad for them sometimes. But yeah, we cleaned their tank last night and we're out of some of the stuff we need to make sure that their water stays really nice for them. So I've got a little list of things that I need from the pet shop. So I'm going to go there and get all of that for our little axies to make them happy. It's been really good actually. I thought that the cats would be a little bit more interested in the tank than they have been. So that's been good. Like, there haven't been any cats trying to get in there and fish out any axolotls. As Finding Nemo, the Bruce on Finding Nemo would say, fish are friends, not food. Why can't I get out this little hole? I want it to go up there without ruining those stitches. I don't know how successful I was. So I'll go and do that, and the pet shop out near our house just happens to be near McDonald's, so I was going to leave it until it was an appropriate time for me to buy myself McFlurry as an appreciation of all my hard work going to the pet shop. A little reward. They have the caramel McFlurries here in Australia at the moment, and they are delicious. I mean, I've only had one, but it was delicious. I don't often buy ice cream from McDonald's, but after Ben's end of year dance concert, I took the boys to McDonald's as a treat for Benny for doing so well up there, and Joshy and I got a McFlurry. Benny only wanted a little ice cream cone. But yeah, Joshy and I got caramel McFlurries, and it was absolutely delicious. Benny doesn't have too much of a sweet tooth. Like, he wants the lollies and the treats and all of that, but then when it comes time to eating them, like, he kind of has like a little bit, and then he's punched you really bad just then, and then he's kind of all done with it. So he can kind of make his treats last a bit. The other kids, I mean, Othello doesn't got a very big sweet tooth either, and he's very particular about what he likes and doesn't like and all of that, so he's a little bit picky about it. But Ben can seem to make his last, whereas Viola and Joshy destroy it. It's gone. You wouldn't even know you've given them anything, because within 2 seconds flat, you can't see it. It's destroyed. They're our little sweet tooth bubbers. They're not babies. It's always crazy seeing, you know, what they used to look like when you're like, oh my god, you were a baby and it was so cute. And then now you look at them and you're like, I can't, like, you know, how'd you get so big? Like, it feels like yesterday they were these tiny little things, and now, you know, Josh is nearly taller than me, and Viola's turning 6 soon. When Big Josh and I got together, Viola was 2, or not quite 2, or yeah, she wasn't quite 2 actually. So, you know, it's crazy that she's nearly 6 and she starts year 1 this year. Like, she's already done and dusted with her first year of primary school. Like, they just grow up too quick. And I'm not ready for it. You know, Ben's in year 6 this year, so next year is high school. And it's just like, he's my baby, and he's little for his age. Like, he's always been really little. You know, like, everyone gets them confused and thinks Josh is the big brother or whatever. And we're like, no, Benny is. And we make the joke, you know, he's the little big brother and the big little brother. But, like, you know, like, yeah, it blows my mind how quickly they've grown up. And like I saw on my Facebook memories from last night, it was National Kiss a Ginger Day, and Josh is our little ginger, so I have photos from like every year for National Kiss a Ginger Day with me and Benny giving Joshy a big smooch on the cheek. And it's like, looking back at them, I was like, oh my God, they were just so tiny. And it feels like, you know, it was only yesterday that we were doing that. Like, 1 year, one photo came up and it just, like, I captioned it, you know, National Kiss a Ginger Day gets more hectic every year, because we said to Joshy, it's National Kiss a Ginger Day, and then me and Benny had to chase him around the house to try and get a smooch, and then he was turned into a Nerf gun war. It was so cute, but yeah, it's just so funny. Like, I remember all of that like it was yesterday, and oh, I'm really getting good at these guesses. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday, but then looking at the photos, like, they were so little. Like, oh God, I love them so much, but you know, you forget that, because as they get older and they get their attitudes and their personalities and you know all the things they have to go through, like all the stages and the changes in their body and social skills and like all of that stuff, and just the day-to-day stuff that they go through is different, and so they can get a bit snappy with you and a little bit short with you, and you know, a bit back chatty, and it's all just stuff kids do. But you know, you think, oh, like, feels like just yesterday you were this tiny little thing where, you know, I was your world and you were always happy, always smiling, always giggling. Ben's always been a performer, so he's always, you know, putting on a show and telling a story and, you know, entertaining. And Joshy is the type of kid that he never, and Ben's the same, they're very sensitive to other people, so they never want anyone to be sad. They always want to cheer someone up and, you know, make someone laugh, and they still do. They're honest, they're beautiful men. Like, I could not be prouder of how I am raising them, what they're going to be, you know, when they grow up, how they're going to treat people, that type of thing. Like, I'm beyond proud of them. But, you know, they're also getting that preteen angst, and so sometimes I have to remind myself, like, don't be crabby. Just, everyone needs to walk away, have some time, calm down. It's been a big day. You can still tell when they're tired, just like you could when they were, you know, little toddlers, and you're like, oh God, you're so tired, mate. Like, you're starting to get a bit of an attitude. And I say it to them all the time, like, buddy, you're just so tired, aren't you? And they're like, yeah, I am. Like, all right, let's just have a cuddle, chill out. We'll talk about it later when you're not tired and going to take it in a, you know, mum's being horribly mean type way. And I guess that reminds me that no matter how old they are, they still need mum cuddles sometimes. Like, just the comfort of sitting down and just not even talking, just having that little bit of a cuddle to make everything better. I mean, you know, in my head, I always knew that. I still sometimes get, if I'm real upset, I'm like, oh my God, I just want my mum. I just need to talk to mum. Which, I mean, harder for me. I just have to give her a call, and because she's 3 hours away in a different state, so I can't just go and have a hug and be like, Mummy, make it all better. but I can do that for my boys. Give them the cuddle that they want, that they need. And you know, they don't want to admit it sometimes, so I have to be the one that suggests it. Oops, sorry guys, the weight I had on here holding my stand down has just decided to, there we go, just decided to take a fall, so my camera was slowly falling. Oh, I can't do that, I just need to finish these. I just need to finish these stitches and then we're done. We're at our satisfying end point. I am with this chart. What is happening here? See, the back of this is a mess. I am with this chart going to convert her hair. So on the pattern, it is like a reddish brown color. But I was thinking that I will convert her hair to be black so that it's more me. So hopefully I can pull that off, or I remember it at the time where I get to the section that's going to be the start of her fringe at the top, which I think works out to be like it's just below here somewhere. Her fringe starts, or maybe a little bit further down. So I just need to be like, before I start stitching it, be kind of aware of the square I'm working in, and if some of it is going to be the start of her fringe, and then try and work out how I'm going to do it. I've looked up a conversion chart for it, so I mean obviously it's going to be mostly 310, but then the highlights in it will be 3799, which I kind of assumed before I looked it up the conversion. I kind of assumed that 3799 would be in there. But obviously with this pattern, I had a quick like look on the pattern with the symbols and stuff this morning, and you know, there is more than just those colors. Like there's more than just like 3 colors in it, which would be like the highlight and the main I think that the conversion chart that I looked at, so there was like 3 parts. So there was the main color, there was the highlight, and then there was the shadow. But I mean the shadow and the main body, the main color of it are 310 for black, so it's only like that and the shadow that I need to worry about. But like for this, for the hair on her here, it's more than just like 3 colors, so I have to kind of determine what symbols are like the different kinds of shade that are all just sitting there for the main body or whatever. Which I mean, I'll give myself some credit and say, yeah, I'll be able to nail that. But I guess we'll see when we get there whether I can or not. And I'm hoping it doesn't, you know, wreck the overall look of the pattern. I'm sure it won't, but I guess I have to look around what's around her hair to see if any of it's dark, where I might, if I use black, I might lose an element to the pattern. Oh gosh, I didn't think about that until just this second. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can, that little bit of cat fur. It's all in there. So hopefully, there's just these last couple of ones to do. So hopefully I can get this done, and we'll kind of be around the 1.5 hour mark. And again, I apologise if that's like too long. You just need to let me know and I can try and figure something out. I mean, hopefully in the next video we won't be doing 2.5 boxes anyway, or whatever it is. So hopefully it won't take quite that long. But I'll figure out a better way to... I'll figure it out. I'll sort it out. I'll give it a go. But yeah, I would like feedback, whether you like these or not, or if you have any questions you want me to answer about anything. If you do want to, like, if you do want me to start one of the Heaven and Earth design patterns, and you guys can kind of see the process from the start. I would like to try one of those patterns doing the method that Gemma Stitches does. She kind of works it from like the top corner, and then she only does what's touching where she is stitching, so it's not quite like a straight diagonal method or anything like that, but she's kind of just doing it yeah, she's kind of like only doing the symbols that are touching. So like if she was to be doing this corner, she'd only be doing like right there, but if that symbol was over here, she wouldn't go to it. She'd just park and move on. I don't know if that made any sense, but I am thinking that I might try that with one of my new starts, one of my new HAED, and see how that method works. Because like I said, I'm not set in a method just yet that I found, because this is my first big full coverage piece. So I'm not, I don't know, I'm kind of new to this type of stitching. I've tried cross country on this, which is kind of where I was at when I, like, what this diagonal is about. Like I was kind of within the diagonal, I was doing cross country. So I was kind of, I've tried that out, but the back is an absolute mess. So I'm not sold on a method of how to kind of keep this neat, not bulky at the back, So yeah, we'll see how we go with trying these ones out. And I'll try a different method on another project and I'll kind of see where we land. I'm doing the royal rose on the rainbow succulent, like I said, so that whole project has been started with that method, and then I'll kind of do it based off how Gemma Stitches does hers for one of my, like I'll do one of my HAEDs like that, and then I'll be able to kind of judge what I feel is the best method moving forward. So there you go, there's my satisfying end point for this video. So we've done 189 stitches to get us to this point, and I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. My stitches look much better in the camera than I thought they would. Thought they'd be a little bit messy. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, I'm more than open to feedback. Have a good weekend, have a good day. I hope you get some stitching in. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, share me around. That would be really appreciated. Yeah, and I'll catch up with you next time. Thank you. Bye.